Hey everyone, welcome back to another episode of Infinite Binge. We are talking about Stranger Things, episode 3 this time. I'm Jake, and who else is here?
Kevin?
And Andrew.
We're
Chapter
back.
3. Chapter 3,
Yes.
Holly Jolly.
Yes.
Which is kind of a play on words because that's the name of the Wheeler's kid.
Yeah. So you guys just want to jump right in?
Yeah,
Yeah.
let's do it.
Yeah, let's go ahead and let's go for it.
Alright, so Barb wakes up in some place that's real dark and gross. She's looking for Nancy, but she finds the monster.
Well, she's like at the pool, but it's all like ashy pool or like stuff. There's a bunch of stuff.
I think
So it's-
I think in one of my other notes I call it schmutz because that seems
Yeah.
about right. That seems about right.
That does sound right, actually. But yeah, it's like an evil pool. She's in an evil pool.
Of
It's
schmutz.
someplace you don't want to be.
Yeah.
But back in the regular real world, there's Foreigner to be played and Boning to get on. Do you guys like Foreigner?
Yes.
Yeah.
I'm kind of indifferent. Like I have this thing with my wife where I purposely confuse Foreigner with Styx with REO Speedwagon.
Funny enough, I saw them a couple of years ago, and, when they play, it's almost not any original members. And at the time, the only original member was the guitarist. When I saw them play, he was sick, so they had to step in. So I technically saw a Foreigner cover band saying they were Foreigner.
You saw the official Foreigner cover band.
Yes.
I would say that Styx has a better song than anything Foreigner has done.
I don't know about that.
Renegade's real good.
I mean, if is that the Styx song that you're going to go with?
Yep. Renegade.
I mean, come sail away is pretty good.
Yeah, it is. Also, Blue Collar Man. That's a good one.
Ladies, pretty
welcome
good.
to the Styx podcast where we talk about
Where we
Styx.
talk about Styx.
We're calling it Pickup Sticks, where we're trying to get people to listen to Styx.
Listen to Styx for the first time again.
Okay, so what happened next, Andrew?
Oh yeah, that happens. So Barb gets pulled away from the. She's trying to get out of like the pool, but she gets pulled away by the Demogorgon.
Yeah, things are not looking good for Barb.
No, I think she's pretty well screwed.
And
Yeah,
this is all 100% Nancy's fault.
Everything is Nancy's fault. Like in the next scene, you guys know that thing where after you have sex, it feels like you've been shot in the butt by a tranquilizer dart. That happened.
Just sleep.
And yeah, you just need to sleep. It's like that happened to Steve.
That did happen to Steve.
He was sleepy.
He obviously put in a lot of effort.
Yep. So he's passed out, and Nancy is leaving.
Well, she's gone. She's out.
She did not seem impressed.
She just walked home, I guess?
Yeah, that's... Well, she did say in the episode prior that it seemed like he lived close, so that's why they couldn't, park at his house because it was so close by to her house, and someone might see.
Then why take her car at all?
Because
I guess
you got to keep up with the ruse.
Because the bike was found over
Well,
there,
also,
and they were riding bikes there, so it couldn't have been that far.
Where does what's her name live? Who knows? Barb. Who knows where Barb lives? She had to pick her up. Got to keep the lie alive.
Sounds like you have experience with this, Kevin.
No, never.
I think Kevin was Steve in high school.
No.
Were you Barb?
No.
I was Barb. I was a band geek in high school.
I was Dustin.
I wouldn't compare myself to any of them.
Dustin is my favorite character in the show.
Dustin's great.
I think he's really easy to like.
So back to it. Nancy goes home, and then her mom's mad. Understandably, because she's been gone all night.
Yeah, she says she was gonna be home at 10.
She lied.
But like her mom does the whole, if you need to talk to me, I'm here.
Oh, she knows. She knows what's up.
So then cut to Jonathan waking up to Joyce saying Will is trying to talk through the lights. And then the lights flicker a little bit.
It's the electricity being weird.
So at this point, Jonathan clearly thinks Joyce is insane. Or had a mental break or something.
To be fair, if I wasn't there, or if I wasn't like a viewer, and I was just hearing about the stuff that she was saying that she saw, without actually being a party to seeing it, I'd say she sounded positively crazy.
Oh yeah.
Yeah. So then cut to Lucas and them and the gang. They brought supplies.
From now?
Yeah, he had binoculars from Nam. Was there a knife?
Yeah, also from now.
Yeah, from Nam.
And he brought a wrist rocket. The wrist rocket is a slingshot, but it has like a wrist brace. So you have better control. I had one as a kid.
How did those work? Or did they work well, is what I mean.
Yeah, they work good. With a slingshot, really have to hold on to that handle tight, but with a wrist rocket, you don't really need to because all the pressure's on your wrist because of the brace on it.
Now, is that an actual like brand?
I believe so. Yes.
Here, let me take sticks or take Wikipedia away from sticks and look up wrist rocket. No, it looks like it's just a type.
Yeah, it has the wrist thing on it. I know I used to call it the wrist rocket though. And then they're arguing over the existence of the Demogorgon, and Dustin brought food because they're gonna need their energy for this long journey.
Yeah.
And then they're arguing over Elle's powers. So Dustin tries to get her to make the Millennium Falcon fly. She's not having it though.
Yeah, but yeah, it's kind of fun. That's actually one of the funnier parts was when he lets go of it and it just falls. And Mike's like, "Dude, she's not a dog."
And Mike tells Elle to meet them at the power lines at the house at 3:15, behind the house. All right, so then what happens?
So then she starts to have like a flashback. I'm sorry. I'm reading. I'm reading the wrong thing. I'm reading to when it was 3:15. So at school, Steve tells Nancy that he had a good time. And my note here is, "Dear Steve, don't tell women that you quote had a good time after sex." It's kind of like implied.
Yeah,
but it's just like,
he's not lying though.
He's not lying, but it's like that's not. You need to say something more than that.
Yeah.
It's just it's really just, I don't know, teenager weirdness.
Yep.
But then it kind of shifts to Hopper trying to go up to the DOE. Again, the DOE is the Department of Energy. Trying to go up to the lab, but the MP that's there at the gate doesn't want to let him in.
Yeah, just being a meanie.
He is doing his job. He doesn't come up with the rules.
But then it cuts back to Elle at Mike's house, and she's making the Millennium Falcon fly.
With no one to see.
Well, yeah, I mean, it's always better when you do something because you want to or for yourself, rather than for someone else's amusement. She kind of wanders around Mike's house and has a flashback where she crushed a Coke can because she turned on Mike's 22-inch TV that's like huge.
Yeah, she was flipping through the channels and then stumbled upon the Coke commercial.
Yep. Unfortunately, it wasn't the "I'd like to buy a world of Coke."
I think it would have been too late for that. Wasn't that in like the 60s?
I think it was very late 60s, early 70s. I don't know. When did Mad Men end?
Late
A few years ago.
That is true. Accurate. So yeah, then she's crushing the Coke cans in the flashback, which makes me wonder, why is the Department of Energy doing all these weird experiments? It's energy.
I don't know. Maybe it's nuclear.
Telepathic energy is the future. Telekinetic, I should say.
Maybe it's electrokinetic.
So Joyce, then it cuts to Joyce and she's putting up Christmas lights inside the house. Because she's really into the Christmas spirit.
I kind of want to hang up Christmas lights year round.
You can do that.
Hey, you're an adult.
Can you?
Yeah.
I feel like it's against the rules.
Just change the lights every month so they're different colors. So like in like July, have red, white, and blue Christmas lights. That way you can say they're 4th of July lights. They're not Christmas lights.
They're just
That's
decorative
true.
lighting.
Yeah, true. Well, I'll give it a shot.
Let us know how that works.
We'll do.
For autumn,
Do
you
like
put up
orange.
orange, like dark, like kind of a deep red.
Some yellow in there maybe.
Yeah, or do them all in the color of like candy corn.
I like this idea.
We're gonna revolutionize interior decorating.
And exterior. We're gonna change the game with decorative lighting outside. It's not just for Christmas anymore.
Christmas has really held a stern grip on this for too long.
I agree. Can't have it.
But then Hopper and company, they do get into the DOE lab.
Yeah, they managed to talk their way in.
Look at some security tapes and such.
But as they kind of watch everything, Hopper realizes that they're hiding something and that they're lying, because there was a storm one of the nights that they asked about, and they didn't see any rain during the tape.
He's
You
on
know-
to them.
These DOE guys are super incompetent.
Well, maybe they just underestimate or overestimate, or no, they underestimate the local cops.
As well as overestimating their
Their
own
own, yeah.
abilities.
And maybe they're like, oh, we're going to let this guy in, so we need to grab a quick tape from the records. So they just grabbed a random tape without, they didn't have time to check for rain. I guess there's that.
But then, kind of at the same time, there are dudes in clean suits looking at some of that kind of like bio schmutz, or as I call it, BS, from wherever Will is. And then Elle kind of looks around Nancy's room, finds the little ballerina thing, and you get the distinct I got the distinct impression like I don't know if she doesn't recognize it as something from like a normal girl's like upbringing.
Well, yeah, it's all like new for her.
Yeah. Yeah, so then we see Nancy, and she's going around asking people if they've seen Barb.
Yeah, I think primarily it's the Steve and his.
Yeah.
But then I think this is also the same time when they start doing the Steve,
Yeah.
and it's like mortifying. And then Dustin brings it back to where we would all like to bring it back to, and wonders if Elle was born with her powers like the X-Men or acquired them like Green Lantern.
I mean, he brings up a good point.
Yeah, I mean it's actually it's applying what he is familiar with to the situation.
Yep.
And actually, I think that's a solid kind of question that needs an answer.
Yes, it does. But then while they're discussing this, the bullies show up.
Mouth breathers. But I think one of them's name is Troy, and
Yeah, I think they trip Mike, and he falls and hits his chin on a rock.
Correct, yeah.
every time I see that, like, as I think I watched this episode once to get someone else caught up, and then, but it always looks like he hits his teeth or something.
That's
Yeah.
what I thought too, but nope. Apparently just the underside of his chin.
As someone who, at the age of 11, slipped on ice and fell teeth first on the ice, that I don't like that scene because it looks like he lands teeth first,
Well,
and it brings back memories.
Yeah, I'm glad it wasn't just me then.
But then it cuts to Jonathan being creepy,
Yeah, he's developing the pictures he took.
and he gets caught.
Yeah, someone's in the room with him. He walks in and is
Well,
like,
yeah,
and then
walks
he takes
in.
them all down.
Yeah,
Yeah,
it's not like he's brazenly doing this and in front of people.
Yeah, he's not
That would
going,
be
hey,
dumb.
check this out.
But then he kind of pulls everything down and runs away with them,
Yeah, it's clear that he knows what he did is wrong.
or knows how it's perceived.
Yeah.
Probably both.
Well, and see, the thing is that, like, so he started out, looking for, like, taking pictures around where his brother disappeared. And I don't think anyone would think that was weird at all.
Well, yeah, and that's fine.
But and that's
it's
fine.
what came
But
immediately after that.
Immediately after that, when he starts, and again, kids, don't do that. But then Joyce is kind of wrapping Christmas lights all around the house, and
then Mike's mom shows up with a casserole.
Because it's the 80s in Indiana.
I guess that's what happens in Indiana?
In the 80s.
There's random casseroles brought to people?
Well, so, I mean, it's probably true in other parts of the country, but especially, like, whenever people are having a hard time, or they, like, if someone was in the hospital, you know, a neighbor or a family friend would bring by something to eat for you. And things like that.
Happens.
Yeah, I mean, I'm sure, like I said, I'm sure it happens elsewhere. But it was just like, specifically casserole. I feel like casseroles are something that I don't see as much anymore.
I eat casseroles.
What's your favorite casserole?
I like a good tuna casserole.
Yeah.
I am not a fan of tuna. Like,
I do not like tuna at all.
Let me rephrase that. I don't like the canned tuna. Like, I'll have like tuna sashimi or tuna rolls, like tuna and sushi.
Okay. I also like the tater tot casserole. Also, is shepherd's pie considered a casserole?
I don't know. That's a good question. Shepherd's pie is really, really good.
It is.
So my mom makes this casserole for breakfast, and it's like, it's got ham and eggs, like shaved ham, like almost like a cold cut ham. But it's got cheese and like bread in it, and then on the top there's bread, and then you saute cornflakes, and then you put the sauteed cornflakes on top, and then you bake it. But she usually makes it once a year, and she used to make it exclusively on Christmas morning. So we call it the Christmas casserole. That is my favorite casserole.
That sounds pretty good.
It's really, really good. Since my parents have moved south and they're not up for the holidays anymore. We have that usually like the last time I visit for the year before they go back to Florida. So that was just like a couple weeks ago. So I've still got that dancing in my mind. But then Hopper goes to the library and asks something of the librarian, and
the librarian?
Yeah. Where he was dating the librarian, but he never called and said, hey.
I wouldn't call it dating. That's probably not a great word to describe what they did.
So they, I feel like they saw each other like once.
They hooked up once.
Yeah, it sounds like he one night standed her.
Yeah,
you definitely get that impression.
And then doesn't call her at all. Man, that's a scumbag move.
That's who he was with the other night when he was like, he has the worst luck, he's cursed, right?
No, I don't think so.
Because was someone else?
Because I think that was only like a day or two before, and I got the expectation or the understanding
impression
that
this happened a little bit ago.
Yeah, this has been weeks or if not months.
I'm pretty sure that's a completely different person.
Okay. I don't know. I got the impression that was the same.
No, because I think that's only at this point that would only be the night before, or 2 nights ago.
Yeah, then she's freaking out at him.
Yeah, I mean that wouldn't be, and at the same time it'd be really understandable if, especially when there's a missing kid, that the chief of police would be busy.
And a suicide. Yeah, so then they're looking through old newspapers.
Yeah,
and then they're looking at the microfiche.
Yeah, because 80s. Did you guys ever look at the microfiche? Microfiche?
I think so. It's been a long time.
I remember having to do it once because I took a kind of history of journalism in the 20th century class, and I had to go look at some old newspapers. I don't remember what or why. I think it may have been you had to look up your hometown paper the day you were born or something. I don't remember. Nothing happened in my hometown the day I was born. That was reported in the paper for that day.
Your birth wasn't front page news?
Well, I was born in the afternoon. The paper would have been delivered in the morning.
Oh, okay. So the next day, it was all you.
The next day, it was all me. But getting back to the show, They find documents about like MK Ultra, or they find not documents but newspaper
The guy.
articles.
Yeah.
Yeah, and they see Dr. Brenner, Matthew Modine, in a picture.
Yeah, and something about Terry Ives.
Yeah, Terry Ives like looking for information about her kid and suing the government.
Yeah.
And then
Then it goes back to Joyce.
back to Joyce, and they're with Mike's mom. Which I should probably look up her name. I've been trying to do really good about getting the names down.
Right. Did it have the scene of her buying the lights at the store and then getting a look from her boss?
I think I skipped that because it was.
I remember that scene. It made me chuckle a little bit.
Yeah, because she's just like, just ring me up, Don.
Yeah.
Or whatever the guy's name was.
Yeah, so then she's deflecting about the lights, and Holly goes following the lights into Will's room. And then she's growling in front of the wall.
She's growling, or she hears growling?
She heard growling at the
okay.
wall.
Okay.
And then the arm, or the hand, like, starts pushing through the wall again from, like doing the Nightmare on Elm Street thing again.
Right. But then, like, immediately after that starts, like, Joyce comes in behind her and, like, picks her up, takes her away.
Yeah, then she says, "Thank you for the casserole, but I need you to leave."
Yeah, just, like, flat out freaking kicks him out.
But she did thank them for the casserole.
Yeah, no, she was, no, yeah, that's typical Hoosier hospitality.
I just choose to believe she really likes casseroles.
But yeah, when she was like in front of that, well, kind of going back a little bit, when Holly was in front of that wall, I got like a major poltergeist vibe from that.
Oh yeah.
Like if she had turned around and said they're here, that would have been, I'd been like, oh, okay, yeah, it's one of these.
I mean, they could. The show is kind of a reference fest. Well, you've seen the posters for season 2, right?
I think the ones I've seen say like things are going to get stranger.
Oh, they released like 5 or 6 posters from season 2, and they're all variations of posters from popular horror movies from the 80s. Like there's an Alien one. I guess that's 70s.
Well,
I think there's a Poltergeist. Also, I think there's a Close Encounters one. Nightmare on Elm Street.
Like there's one of these that kind of reminds me of the Fright Night poster.
Yeah.
With the red sky.
Yeah.
But I think that's like a really early one. Oh, I see. There's a Goonies one. That's really good. Close Encounters.
Yep.
My gosh, some of these are really good.
Yeah, I really like the Alien one.
Oh, there's a Running Man.
Yeah, for the chief.
Yeah. Oh my gosh. Okay. These are awesome. These are awesome.
All right. Yeah, but getting a little off topic.
Yeah, way off topic. Off topic. So yeah, Nancy calls Barb's mom, trying to ask her if she came home. And she's like, her mom's like, no, it's no big deal. She was staying at your house, right? And it was like, Nancy kind of gets caught in her lie a little bit.
Yeah. Then she covers. Yeah. Then Steve and the gang are waiting at Jonathan's car because the girl who noticed the creepy photos told them about the creepy photos.
See, I didn't think that they were up long enough for her to realize, and they were all kind of dark. So I don't know how she could have identified those as being involved with Steve.
She just knows.
She recognized the house and the pool.
It's like really dark though, man.
That's true, and they weren't fully developed photos yet.
Well, no, they were fully developed, but they were drying.
Oh, that's right.
Because they were up on the clips.
Yeah.
But it's like, for as short a time as they were up and as dark as they were, I don't... That's one of the few things about that I saw that was like, is this really... But anyway, yeah, they take his bag, they get the photos out, and they break his camera before ripping up the photos. And
Nancy...
it's
weird, because I kind of felt bad for him because they broke his camera, but he also kind of asked for it by doing it.
Well, I don't...
Well, I mean, what would your reaction have been?
Well,
if you found him.
If I found him, I would have probably talked to the authorities or school administrators.
Yeah.
and said something like that. I mean, I think that's the appropriate thing to do, but I think property destruction is a bit of an extreme reaction. Now, what I want to do, and that's what I would do, and would I want to have broken the guy's camera for doing that? Yeah. But what I want to do and what I would do are two different things.
Yeah, at this point of the show, I think it's kind of unclear, like whether or not Steve is like cool or not, like a good guy or bad guy.
Right, but at the same time, I don't think you get a full feeling on whether or not you don't get a full like. I think you kind of lean towards Jonathan being an okay guy,
Yeah,
who did something stupid.
yeah,
But I feel like Steve definitely kind of, for every good thing he does something that's either where he's basically an asshole, or he does something stupid that's not cool.
yeah. Yeah, and they rip up the photos and throw them on the ground. But then Nancy notices a photo of Barb when she's sitting on the diving board.
Yeah, it's like in one like section of the photo.
Yeah, so she keeps that ripped up photo.
Well, and she kind of grabs all of them together to so that they don't fall into someone else's hands.
Yeah.
But evidently there's some game going on. I don't know.
Yeah.
Let's see, early November in Indiana. That would probably be
Still be football. It's gotta be.
You don't think it could be baseball?
No, I think it may be basketball.
Oh yeah, basketball is huge in Indiana.
And depending, like if football, like high school football is not a super big thing here.
But I know basketball is.
But
yeah,
basketball
that's
is.
right.
And yeah, in 49 other states they call it basketball. Here it's like something else. But yeah, so that's well. I think so that. Hold on a second. If you guys want to go on, I want to look something up.
Okay. Well, then after that, it cuts to Elle, and she's at the power lines at 3:15, and she sees a cat.
And then she has the flashback.
Yeah, of the time that they tried to make her kill the cat, but then I don't think she did it.
Yeah, she refused to do it, so they were like throwing her back in like a solitary confinement kind of room.
Yeah,
But-
basically like a closet.
But then she like threw a guy into a wall and then snapped the other one's neck with her mind. So that didn't really work great for them.
Yeah, that was a bad plan.
And then the old guy picks her up and like walks off with her.
Okay, so question. Since the beginning of the show, how many days do you think have elapsed?
2.
Ooh,
2, 3?
2, 3, yeah.
You wouldn't say that it would be like 5.
No, I don't think so.
Okay, so November 6th, 1983 was on a Sunday. So 2 or 3 days would mean that it was Tuesday or Wednesday, maybe Thursday.
So basketball game,
So
yeah.
probably basketball game because
Friday
football.
night is football, yeah.
Yep. So and actually that Friday would have been the 11th, so that would have been Veterans Day. So they may not have played a game that day or that night. Also, I'm just realizing if it's after school in November in Indiana, you've got to be getting close to like really close to dark because it starts getting dark really early.
Yeah, that is true.
Anyway, sorry.
But yeah, she has a flashback, then the boys show up with their bikes. They're like, we out.
Yeah, they go for a bike ride looking for Will.
Yeah, Nancy's like, I can't be here.
Yeah,
Yeah,
they come back to her
she's
and she
gotta
goes,
go.
I'm out. Yeah, I got things with my mom, but not really.
Yeah.
I've got to go see a man
Barb.
about a horse.
But then
then-
Elle notices Mike was picked on. He got bullied.
Yeah.
And she understands.
Yeah, what was it? He tries to deflect and he just kind of throws his words back at him, where friends tell the truth.
Yeah.
And I think that's the first time that you really notice that it's on his chin rather than teeth.
Yeah.
I was so confused, like for a while.
If he would have landed teeth first, it would have broken his teeth.
Yeah, exactly. I don't want to ask, but
Yes.
okay. Anyway, then
One tooth.
Okay. then Nancy kind of goes and she's looking around. But she finds Barb's car, but Barb is not around.
And then she goes looking and she sees it.
Yeah, she looks around around the pool behind Steve, and then she sees something. But it's kind of like one of those. It's moving behind her and like away from her, and kind of like out of the corner of her eye.
Yeah, but so it freaks her out, and she runs away like she should.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, a totally sensible decision here by Nancy. One of
Although
few.
later in later episodes, I would say some of her decisions are not really all that great.
No one. I would say in leading up to this, some of her decisions are also not great.
She finally made a good decision.
Good decision making, Nancy. One decision.
She did what Barb would do.
Yeah, she did, which was nope the hell out of there. But then Joyce sees the lights leading her to a hiding place in the living room, back at the buyer's house.
Yeah, and then she's like saying one blink for yes, two blinks for no, and she's talking with Will.
Yeah, which kind of gives her confirmation that it is Will there, and that he is alive, but he's not safe.
Yeah,
So Joyce gets an idea.
it's a good idea.
It's finally, yeah, good idea. Good idea, Joyce. Needs to team up with good decision, Nancy. But she paints letters on the wall so that things can be lit up, so that they can actually spell things out.
Yeah. So then Nancy goes home and tells her mom that she thinks something bad's happened to Barb.
Yeah, and doesn't quite come clean, but kind of says
Ma already knows.
Yeah, Mom. See, here's the thing, kids. Parents aren't stupid.
Well,
These parents are kind of Ted is kind of
yeah.
oblivious.
There's
liked his
one
chicken.
parent usually knows. One is usually oblivious.
Well, and I don't like the trope of the oblivious dad, but in this case with the Wheelers, it's really kind of true. But then one of the deputies is talking to Chief, to Hopper, and talks about how Terry Ives had been discredited, and then he notices Brenner in the picture. And here in my notes I say with the MK Ultra staff. I think that's actually with the MK Ultra test subjects.
Okay.
So, and I don't think we mentioned MK Ultra before. Just for people who don't know what MK Ultra was, MK Ultra was a CIA sanctioned mind control experiment, like during the Cold War.
Okay.
So, that was the code name. It's one of those things that I've not really ever looked into, like how much it was like anything about it. There are some people out there who were really into looking out and figuring out what the hell these people did, but I don't know if you guys have any familiarity with this or not.
No.
Other than by name. Like this was
I do not.
like this, they gave LSD to people to try and here I'm just reading something. Early CIA efforts focused on LSD, which later came to dominate many of MK Ultra's programs. The CIA wanted to know if they could make Soviet spies defect against their will, and whether if the Soviets could do the same to the CIA's own operatives. I mean, this was in through the 50s and 60s and 70s. At one point in 1975, Gerald Ford launched some sort of investigation into the everything that was going on with the CIA there. It's really weird and really interesting, but man.
But yeah, they get a radio call that they found something.
Yeah, at the quarry.
They out. They booked it on out.
Yeah, and Elle brought the gang to Will's house.
And the kids all start getting mad. Well, yeah, they all start getting mad. Being like, why'd you bring us here? He's not here.
And she's got this confused look on her face, like, yeah, he is.
Then, right after, all the cops drive by.
Yeah.
They start chasing him down to the quarry.
And then it goes back to Joyce. And she's finishing up painting the letters.
Yeah, that kind of took her a really long time to do. Because I think it was light out and then it was dark out.
Well, you can't rush perfection.
Yeah, it really looked like she did a lot of...
Like you did say, it gets dark there early that time of year.
Yeah, really quickly as well.
But yeah, and then he spells out right here.
Yeah, she says,
She's
"Where is
like, where are
Will?"
you?
Right here.
And then something else, and then he puts run.
Yeah, what
And
should she
then-
do?
Yeah, what should I do?
Oh, yeah, that's right. What should I do? And then run, and then the thingy comes out the wall.
The Demogorgon.
Yeah.
Is this the first time we actually get to see it?
Full on, yeah. Like for an extended shot, yeah.
Yeah.
Is it really even that extended of a shot?
I mean, compared to what has been
You get to see
shown,
it
yeah.
kind of well lit and everything.
Yeah. There's light on it. You can actually, get a good look at it.
Usually it's either really dark or it's not in focus. It's like in the background.
And it's moving.
Yeah.
So, but she books it on out. And then right after that cuts back to the quarry. And
Yeah, then the cops pull the body out of the water.
yeah, pull Will's body out of the water. And then all the kids start what's his name, Mike?
Yeah, Mike.
Yeah.
He like freaks out at Elle, being like, he was alive, you said he was alive. And then he rides off. It's all sad. And then it cuts right back to Joyce running down the road. Then Jonathan drives up. They start hugging. And then the cops come in the background. And then it's playing a sad cover version of Heroes.
It's Heroes originally by David Bowie, but this version is Peter Gabriel.
Yeah. Which it was a good cover. It was nice. But it was sad.
Very mournful.
Yeah. And then end.
So that's funny. Because that's Mike's real name. The actor's name. Anyway, but so at this point, are you feeling like pretty
confused,
down? Yeah. Like you're like I imagine.
Sad,
I imagine.
sad.
Yeah, I imagine your emotions at this point have to be like at the floor.
Well,
like they're despondent. There is no hope in the world.
Kind of, because it's like, well, he's still alive.
Is he?
Yeah. I don't know. That's how they.
Maybe.
Well, and he's alive. Maybe not physically alive, but he is spiritually alive or something.
Somewhere somehow.
Yeah. But yeah, it was a bummer.
See, Jake and I, we know what happens.
Yeah, we've seen this before.
We've seen this before, so we know kind of what the score is. And obviously trying not to really lead you.
Yeah.
No,
I know. But there's 5 left, right? 5 more.
Yep, it's 8 total episodes.
Is the second season also 8 episodes?
No, I think it's 10.
Okay, they upped it a little.
I think so. I could be wrong.
Anything else you guys want to add before I wrap up?
No.
All right, I'm going to wrap up then. All right, thanks for listening. Like us on YouTube and rate us on iTunes. Leave comments. We'll read your comments. And also listen to the All Talk podcast and the Geek Box and Manga Machinations and the Comic Conspiracy and all those. And thanks for listening. We'll see you next time.